until it gets dark today. Be back out here tomorrow. But again, this is a lead that we're following up on, but that's as far as I can tell you right now.
Can you describe like what exactly is the lead? Like what are y'all?
No, I can't. That gets a little too far into the investigation.
Where y'all are?
I'm sorry.
Could you tell us how far into the area? What's that area like? What's the terrain?
Well, I haven't been back in there, but it goes deep back in there. That's where we are right now. That's one of the locations here where they're looking. But anywhere that we need to search here, based on the tips that we're getting, is what we're going to do.
Is this based on a tip that was called in, or was this one of the search groups that came across something?
You know, there's a lot of work. In the beginning, there was a flurry of activity that everybody could witness between police and FBI in an effort to find Lina. You don't see that flurry anymore up front, but it's going on behind the scenes. There's still a lot of analytical work that's being done. There's still a lot of comparison to different sources of information that we're doing, and that's how we come up with the leads. And that's what brought us here today.
Chief, I'm going to put this mic up.
Chief, is this like, would you say, are you confident to say this is the best lead you've had so far in this case?
I mean, I don't know that there's a best or a worst lead. I mean, so far, none of the leads have led us to Lina. So I don't know if you can compare them that way. It's a lead, and we're following up on it until we run it out.
Is there a reason why this team was flown in? I know we've had help from the FBI, but this specific team flew in from Washington to help in the search?
Because this is what they do. They have special equipment, technology that they use in doing this search. So that's why the FBI is here.
This is a dive team?
The dive team. And there's 12 members on that dive team. I think there's 4 of them that are stationed, don't quote me on the number, stationed in different cities around the country. We happen to get the one out of Washington, D.C.
Chief, this creek goes on for miles. How far is this search area right here, just in this spot?
Yeah, we'll go as far as we need to go to satisfy the lead that we're looking at.
So, just to clarify, is this an area that either law enforcement or volunteer groups, have they been in this area before, to your knowledge?
We have not been in the water here.
But you have been like on the land, like terrain part of this area?
We have not. We have not.
Chief, to clarify, you said that they haven't been in the water yet, so there are people going into water.
I mean, prior to today, we've not been in the water yet.
But today they did go in the water here?
I don't know if they're in the water today or not, but that's what they're here for.
Is the family aware of what's going on?
Yes, the agents have spoken to the family.
Chief, as we enter week 3, is there any other clear picture that you can give us at all? I mean, just...
I wish there was. I wish there was more uplifting information I could give you to at least provide some hope, but I don't have any of that information right now, unfortunately.
Lina still considered a missing person at this time?
Yes. So, thank you all.
Thanks, guys.
If you're just tuning in right now, that was our police chief, Bill McManus, giving an update on the search for 3-year-old Lina Khil. And you're wondering that, you're looking at that backdrop. You don't know where it is. It's exactly 9 miles from where the little girl disappeared 16 days ago on December 20th. That's when 3-year-old Lina Khil was last seen. And we know that the FBI and the SAPD, they've been there conducting some sort of a search. The problem is we were hoping to find out more information from police to give us more details on this, but the chief was pretty vague.
He was pretty vague, but he said that this is a promising lead. They've had lots of leads. They follow up on all of them. He said it may not look like they're doing very much on the outside, but within this investigation, he says there's a flurry of activity. What part of that activity is a search team from Washington, D.C. that specializes in diving and so forth came in from Washington, D.C. It's a 12-member team. They are in dive suits, and there is a creek that runs through there, and they do plan to investigate whether there's any evidence as to Lina's disappearance in that area. But that is a green belt.
Yes.
Right? If you have an idea of the area in Huebner and Babcock, there's an H-E-B there. There's a Church's Fried Chicken. There's a Take 5 oil change place. That whole commerce area is where they're looking in the rear. There's a green belt that runs miles and miles and miles. He says they plan on looking through the entire thing.
Yeah, so you were just talking about the lead. You know, that Chief McManus had said that that the police department, the FBI, they're going to go, quote, as far as we need to go to satisfy the lead that we are looking at. So that basically tells us that they're taking this lead very seriously. And they said they were there. They're obviously there right now, and they will be there again tomorrow. What he did not specify was whether that dive team has already gone into the creek, into the water there. So we are expected to learn more information about that. But again, this is an update on the search for 3-year-old Lina Khil, who disappeared December 20th. Today is day 16 in the search for that little girl. We know that a $150,000 reward is being offered for any information that leads to basically police or anybody finding her safe. And she was last seen wearing a black jacket, black shoes, and a red dress. Of course, we're going to continue to follow up on this and bring you any updates as they become available.
We do have reporters on the scene, photographers on the scene, as well as we have contacts who have been working as volunteer searchers on the scene. And they tell me that the family is at home awaiting word. They have sent a translator over there in case anything turns up so that the family can be notified. But a very sorrowful situation there, obviously, because those searchers have been working so hard. And to now be at the scene where the FBI dive team is looking underwater does not bode well for their efforts. And so there's a bit of a tearful situation there among the volunteers. But again, so far, nothing has come up. They've had absolutely nothing to report, at least to the media. So we are going to keep on it. We will let you know any information as it comes. I assume they're going to continue searching for the next hour or so, or at least until dark, and we will bring you any information if it does arrive in our newsroom. Thank you.
And now we have other breaking news. We know a suspected thief wound up in the hospital after he was shot by the owner of the vehicle. This is something that we're following out of Crestway and Randolph Road, just outside of the city of Windcrest.
Our Patty Santos arrived there just minutes after that shooting. So, Patty, can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, it involved that black BMW.